This was a very serious narrative control at that. We ended the shit very seriously, but
hey, yeah, listen, it's needed, man.
I didn't say it's needed, man. Absolutely.
We could never run away from the serious stuff, man.
I just don't think he has it anymore.
Melo's the role he didn't want in Oklahoma.
Carmelo Anthony throws it straight away.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Control the Narrative, a podcast where we control the narrative that the media creates. If you're new around here, subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify to catch our weekly podcasts. And if you're a returner, a subscriber, a follower, or better yet, a Control the Narrative member, like these two gentlemen who are about to join me in a second are, we appreciate you as always. We're recording this on Tuesday night, right before the Lakers are playing the Warriors. So there's some context there. I know that everybody watching or listening to this is either going to be Wednesday night or Thursday or Friday, or whatever. So we're recording this before the first game. Shitty timing in terms of when we record our podcast and when it goes live. But we're going to get into it because opening night is tonight. Like I mentioned, it's an hour, 42 minutes away from right now. And I feel the excitement building on Instagram, on Twitter, even like in myself. I'm not going to lie to you guys. You guys saw my reaction when Melo decided to join LA, but I think you could kind of tell I've been getting a little more optimistic and just more excited as the weeks go on. So that being said, let's bring on our two guests for the night. Veterans. We had veterans last week. We have veterans this week. Kenny and Joe, my guys. Welcome back again to the show.
Steve, what's up, brother?
Appreciate you, S-Dot, as always, B.
Of course, bro. These guys, like, I have to up my merch game up and, like, my background game up. These guys got pictures of Melo, shit that they stole from Foot Locker, and I'm over here with a dark background. So I really got to step my shit up. But happy to have you guys back on, as always, every month.
Appreciate you.
Let's hop into it. So preseason is over. Season is starting for the Lakers and Carmelo in an hour and a half. But recapping preseason, what was something, Kenny, we'll start with you on top right. What was something from the preseason that you saw that surprised you? Like in a good way or a bad way,
how they involved him so much. Like they actually like utilized him. It's like, you know, with him and AD were like up top, it was a pick and pop, like a pick and toss it to him, like screen for him to shoot the shot. And, you know, Rondo was trying to find him. LeBron was looking for him, like how they actually utilize him and, you know, find him and try to get into his spots and stuff like that. It's not like, you know, he be standing in the corner waving his arms and they don't see him. They're actually like looking to involve him. And then how he just takes over and like how consistent he was. You know, he wasn't taking bad shots. When he was open, he was knocking them down. Like it was good to see. Like to me, it looked like they wanted him there and they wanted to involve him in the offense. Like, and even defensively, he was, you know, stepping it up, switching. They made sure they switched. It was good to see for me. Like I was happy about how they utilized him.
For sure. Joe, what's on your mind?
For me, man, a couple things. I watched the last two games specifically against the Golden State game and the one before that. I want to say Phoenix or Sacramento, one of the two. I think one thing that stood out to me with Melo, I think his handle looked more in tune, like he's in game shape. His handle was kind of good together, you know. I also like the way him and Brown was vibing. Even though Brown only played 2 or 3 games in the 6 games they played, Brown and Melo seem to be on the same page or building to get on the same page. You can tell they've been friends for a long ass time. They just have that vibe going.
That's a good point.
Like Jets, right? Even what Jets said with him and AD, him and Russ played together already. But if you just see they going toward the right direction and trying to build something, you know what I'm saying? Even though the team was 0-6 in the preseason, you know what I'm saying? That was, I mean, they did. It's early. It games don't mean anything, but you can see slowly but surely it's building that continuity each game they play together. So I really thought for me, you know, Melo and his handle and him and Brown was battling a little bit. I thought Melo looked really good, man. He looked like he came in great shape. He looks like he's ready to play. You know what I'm saying? Like he really feels good being in that Lakers uniform, which to me, honestly, I'm slowly trying to slowly but surely get to that. I'm really hyped up for him to be in them Lakers uniform colors. You know what I'm saying? It ain't easy, but I'm getting that. But I felt like early on in the first 6 games, Melo is found his way. You know what I'm saying? It's not anything where he feels uncomfortable or everything. It's not really rushed like it was in Portland to an extent, you know?
Yep.
So, yeah.
Great point, because, you know, when you look at the two situations in Portland, they have to get off to a hot start. It's not like they could just coast into the postseason as a 5, 6, 7, 8 seed, because then you go up against someone like the Lakers, and you know, even though they weren't able to do it last year, the Lakers seem to be a team that can kind of flip that switch. So, you know, they'll be a little more patient with shit. And you know, Big How was talking about it last week, where it was like, yo, we got to have patience with this team because, you know, yes, Melo and Russ have played together. LeBron and AD have some experience. Melo and LeBron have been friends for so many years and all the shit. But, like, it's going to take some time, most likely, for all these pieces to connect. And like you said, like, there's not going to be a rush because they're not going to be like, worst case scenario, they go into the postseason as what, a 3 seed, a 4 seed, something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like, they have a deep team, so they have a lot of guys on that team that, you know, if LeBron needs games off, Melo could step up, and I have no problem with him taking those shots. Go ahead, Joe.
And yeah, they got a deep team so far, but they got injuries already.
Yeah, they do.
Already, man. I mean, key injuries to key role players.
Yep.
Think about it. That's going. I mean, we gotta have. I think I'm gonna talk about it later on, but Malik Monk will be key for them to go far to playoff time.
Agree.
Yeah.
They gotta have him.
And the difference, I think, the difference for him and the Lakers, they have pieces like if one falls off, they can easily plug somebody else in. Like they have enough players to where it's like everybody knows their role and everybody has something different to contribute to the team. So it's not forced. You got to worry about people trying to find their offense because some people know they're not there for offensive purposes. They're there to 100%. Run the ball, pass the ball, play defense. Like Bradley, you got Rondo, Ariza if he ever plays. Like that's defense. That's 3-and-D players. Monk, he can shoot. He's been like consistent with it, and it's like so many different pieces and plug. Like you can plug in. They got bigs. They can go big if they wanted to. They can do 3 bigs if they wanted to. Like it's just so many like different pieces they can insert, take out, plug, try this, try that. It's I think it's going to work, man.
They're interchangeable. Like, yo, you even look at a guy like DeAndre Jordan and Dwight Howard. DeAndre Jordan starting tonight, those 2 pieces can easily be switched. Bazemore and Monk can easily be switched. Wayne Ellington, another guy who you just swap in there, and it's like you don't really lose too much between all those guys. So great point with interchangeable things, parts to the team. I think something for me, I spoke about it a little bit last week, the week before, but just the intelligence of this team. And I'm not going to go too much into it because we talked about it. But you know, when Dame, very smart player. You know, Russ. People like to shit on him, but you know, you don't get triple doubles every fucking game by not being a high IQ player. And I'm not saying he's the smartest player in the world because, you know, we've seen him take some bad shots, especially that year in OKC and shit like that. But I just think this team is going to get Melo so many looks. And we know that. But I think something that people are forgetting is, and I think Jordy said it last week, or somebody said it on Twitter, where it was like, Melo never had an issue creating his own shot.
Right.
Like, whenever you give him the ball, most of the time, like 8 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times, he's going to get a quality look. Yeah, he might get blocked once or like the ball stolen or whatever the case is, but most of the time he's going to get a good look. So, you know, when people are like, oh, he's going to get looks that, you know, he's never seen before, I don't really know if that's true because he was always getting good looks. Like any shot really to him, he's like one of those good bad shot shooters like JR, except he's good at the good shots too. So it's like it's kind of a win-win there. So anyway, I say all that to say, I just go back to you know, AD found him on a cut. Westbrook and him have that play where
Mhm.
Melo like goes like this and spins and they do the little
Yeah.
alley-oop. So little things like that I don't want to say that he's been missing when he was in Portland because, not trying to underrate or undervalue Dame at all, but in terms of straight IQ and all that shit from so many players on the roster, it's not just Dame. When you had guys like CJ and Nurkic and things like that who didn't really pass the ball too much, and when they did, it wasn't really the best look. So anyway, that's my thing, just IQ and just not the shots that they'll be able to get Melo, but the positions they'll put him in.
Absolutely.
There's not a lot of shoot first players on the squad.
They do,
which is definitely going to make, like, the point guards are traditional point guards, like they're actual point guards, like they play like a point guard. They don't play like a 2-guard coming down just shooting tunnel vision. Like it's they
Westbrook
create,
sometimes
run the plays. They can shoot if you leave them open. They will knock it down. But it's like they actually know how to run and carry offense. So that's a good thing too. Because even if you think about it, if you do LeBron at the point, slot Russ to the 2, you do Melo at the 3, AD at the 4, and then maybe Dwight or DeAndre at the 5.
It's a big team.
That's a good, like, you come down the lane, what are you going to put up? It's coming back to you every time you put it up.
Yeah.
Even Dwight and DeAndre. If you do, or even AD, Dwight and DeAndre, like it's just, like I said, it's just so many different scenarios that they can do. I don't see, they just have to stay healthy, man. That's going to be
the
key.
thing, man. That's the thing. And I also think, Russ has over the past 2 or 3 seasons has averaged a triple-double. The past 2 or 3, 2 out of the last 3, something like that.
Yeah.
I think he had a stage in his career where he knows his game has to take a step back a little bit in betterment of the team as a whole.
Yeah.
I think he understands that, he realizes that, and he's ready to do what needs to be done to get it done, to bring that chip home.
And he's kind of done that over the past few years in Houston and in Washington. Like I feel like he has taken a step back, and I feel like he, like to your point, Joe, like he knows that, like, all right, it didn't work obviously in those situations, but he was able to fit in way better than, he was fitting in with people in OKC.
Right, exactly. And then being back home, where he's from, went to college there, that's gonna be a part of it too, man. I think Russ he's gonna fit in well, man, just like Melo and the rest of those guys.
Yeah, it was like I think Kenny mentioned 0-6, or maybe I think Joe mentioned 0-6 in the preseason, but not really looking too much into it. That's why it wasn't a topic. 0-6, like nobody gives a fuck.
Even if they just use that to get in shape, man.
For sure.
They didn't really show anything. I don't
sure.
really think I
Brown
think
and Pay 3 games, right?
And was like, you know what? We're just gonna use this as conditioning.
Yeah.
Wait till the season
100%.
starts. Everybody's gonna be a total different story. Watch.
Yeah.
I can guarantee that.
Yeah. So
no, I got a hot take for you guys too later on about that. But go ahead.
You want to get into it now, Joe?
No, I'm just saying later on my hot take will be something along those lines.
Deal. All right. Yo, real quick, sorry to interrupt if you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, but just wanted to let you know that we have merch at Control the Narrative, and it's pretty fire, in my opinion. This is the Pixel Melo t-shirt that I'm rocking. Anything from Cuse Melo to New York Melo, Hoodie Melo. On this shirt, we got Scapegoat merch, we got Blackball merch, we got just regular Control merch. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, stickers. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. I think I got my point across. Go check it out. I bet you'll find something you like. Appreciate the support as well. Obviously, the merch sales help us fund these podcast episodes that we get to record every single week. So appreciate you. And back to the show. Second question. Melo gets his NBA championship. Joe, we'll start with you on this one. If blank. And I feel real quick to butt in, I feel like we all know. I feel like I know where we're all gonna go.
Yeah.
But just want to hear
it. Melo get a chip if Frank Vogel don't pull or beat Terry Stotts. Do not do.
Not expecting that.
Do not do to Carmelo Anthony what Terry Stotts did to him last year or the last 2 seasons, if you want to be honest. I think we all can agree that Melo won some games for Portland in those 2 seasons he was there. We all can agree that Melo needs to play in the fourth quarter. He needs to close games. Last 5 minutes, Melo needs to be on the floor with LeBron, AD, whoever else they want to plug in. But he has to be a part of that situation, whole dynamic.
Yep.
He's a closer. He makes big shots time and time again. He didn't get the opportunity for the most part in Portland. So if Frank Vogel don't screw that up and plug Melo into that 5 minute fourth quarters each game, he'll win the chip along with I'm gonna say this again, Malik Monk is gonna be vital to the success of the LA Lakers, the Lake Show.
So just to clarify, Joe, you think that Melo wins a chip if Vogel plays him if he closes out games with Melo, pretty much?
Yes, but barring foul trouble or injury, anything like that, Melo need to be in a game to close games. Last 5 minutes of each game, 4 quarters. To close games, going to floor with Bron, AD, and whoever else you want to plug into that situation.
Agreed. Real quick to your point, Melo ranked 4th in the NBA last season in fourth quarter 3-point percentage at 50.5. So he shot over 50% from 3 in the fourth quarter. Why the fuck would you not have somebody like that sitting in the corner? No reason.
No reason for that, man. Just don't beat Terry Stotts. Plug Malik Monk into the starting rotation. Again, major minutes.
Agree.
And don't fuck it up. You got the squad. Barring injuries, man, we gonna win. We gonna be in the finals, B. That's my take on the whole situation.
I feel like sometimes coaches and people make it more complicated than it is. We're like, all right, well, if we start DeAndre Jordan, then like, what about this? And we got to put in Bazemore because Wayne Allen. It's just like, I get it if you want to have like one player like come off the bench like the Knicks did with JR. Obviously, you know, JR was better than Jason Kidd at that time. But like, I don't know. It's just sometimes I'm like, it's really not that complicated. Just start the better players and the bench players play less. And I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
I get it to your point. Like, you want to have the firepower come off the bench. So I prefer Melo starts, but if he ain't gonna start, I understand why. You want to have that firepower come off the bench, and Melo's that firepower that you need to come off the bench. So I understand, I get that part of it. But if you're gonna play him come off the bench, use him. He ain't gotta start all the time, but he gotta finish most games for you. That's all I'm saying.
Fair. Kenny, Melo wins an NBA championship this year if what?
AD stays healthy. I think AD is going to be a key part, man, because that championship year they went to the playoffs, and you know AD was really carrying the load, man. It wasn't LeBron. It wasn't so much LeBron.
He was the best player on that team.
Yeah, it was AD, man. If he can stay healthy and play his game the way he played that year, and they won the finals in the bubble, it's going to be a problem, man.
That's key. That's a good point, Kenny. That's a good point.
It's going to be a
problem. I
agree
with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
Because you got them two. You got AD and Melo. They're trying to figure it out too. It's been a lot of them two playing with each other too. It hasn't been like him, LeBron, and you know they sprinkle LeBron in there, but it's been a lot of like Rondo, AD, and Melo. So it's like in Rondo's, he's one of those point guards. He's going to try to find you. So I think AD is going to be a key part, man. You're going to play major.
You know,
real quick, imagine a closing lineup. You made me think of this. Westbrook, LeBron, AD, Melo, and Rondo.
Yeah.
You just put like the smartest veteran players who can get the fucking like. Why are you gonna go this Bazemore route? Like, obviously shooting, right? Because Westbrook and Rondo neither are great shooters, so like I get that argument, but
that basketball IQ to close games, man. That's crazy. Think about that. Just think about that. Look at that. That lineup with Rondo. Give me the ball, just run to your spot.
I actually might take Westbrook out and put Bradley in because that's defense too. Because he's going to be a pest, and that's going to frustrate him in the fourth quarter, and that cause a lot of turnovers and
But you know what? I get Russ, man. That he go hard all the time. Like he don't take plays off.
Yeah.
Sometimes it hurt, but most times he don't. That's one guy I can say in the league, man, to this day, that don't take plays off, man.
Nope.
I give him mad respect for that. Because that ain't easy to do. To play hard every play for the most part, man. Think
Yeah.
about that. That's crazy.
Yep.
And Russ does that.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
He does that.
I'm going to keep mine really simple. To kind of Kenny's point here, I think Melo gets his NBA championship this year if the team stays healthy, for the most part. Like, if they get to the Western Conference Finals and the finals with Westbrook, LeBron, AD, Melo, Rondo, Dwight, and then like 2 other guys healthy, the Nets, will see what happens with Kyrie. That's a whole topic for another day, but I just don't see anybody beating that team if they're healthy in the playoffs. Like, straight up. I'm trying to simplify things a little bit because, like, I just think that's all it is for this team. If they stay healthy, they'll figure shit out, and that's it.
The one thing that does scare me, to be honest, a little bit, is the defense. It scares me, man. Because it's not nearly what it needs to be to win a chip.
1,000%.
It's not nearly what it needs to be, man. It scares me.
But then again, it's not too much of, you got to be, the only teams you really got to really be like defensive with is like Milwaukee, because they can, Giannis will go he'll drive and kick it. They got shooters out, like crazy. You got maybe Phoenix. Like they have, it's basically like the teams with the shooters. Because, it's a run and gun league now. It's not like, they throwing it down low. You got to have a solid big man because a lot of teams are small. There's not a lot of true centers and true forwards in the league anymore. That's not, everybody wants to shoot threes. Like Embiid. He doesn't stay down low all the time. Every time you look up, he's on the perimeter, flashing back and forth or trying to be a guard. Like it's just not a traditional big man league anymore. So it's like everybody's on the perimeter. So it's like if you got a better chance of crashing the board and setting the tempo versus having to worry about a big man grabbing 40 boards on you and dropping 50 on you. Like how it used to be, Kevin Love, 20
I was just about to say that, K-Love.
Dwight Howard killing you down low, Drummond, you had Bynum. Like you had all them big men that was like killing people. And you had to worry about them. And you ain't have anybody that can guard it, then it was a problem. But now it's like they up top. They're not worried about having an inside game.
Like KP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So
perfect example.
Yeah. Yeah, so watching those games, man, they struggle at times to rebound. They struggle. Lakers get rebounds. They struggle to guard people one-on-one. People can blow by a lot. So I think we need to fix that issue sooner than later.
And we'll see tonight in an hour, 21 minutes. But how much, Joe, do you think that was? It was just the preseason and they didn't care or they didn't try? Because I had that same thought process where I was like, bro, the defense looks really bad. And I was just like, is it because they're not trying or is it because like...
Yeah, I feel that. It's part of a bit of both. They wasn't trying. And then we have the 4 coming players. We have Ariza when he was out. Brown didn't play all the games and he didn't play all the games. So I get that. I hope they come out the right way, man, the first game to show Golden State. Y'all might beat us twice, but this is when the shit started. We finna come and punch you in the mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to see that.
It'll be I feel like tonight would be a huge statement game if they were able to win. And like again, Warriors don't have Clay, they don't have Wiseman and shit like that, but still just to kind of put the league on notice, like, yo, we're not fucking around this year. So
yeah, exactly.
Steph's still dangerous, Mace. You see what he did last year by himself.
62.
Right.
We saw that shit. I watched every minute of that and I like, what the fuck can you do?
Still dangerous.
Yeah.
100%.
All right, last interruption, because if you're watching or listening to the podcast for this long, you probably fuck with us. And if you fuck with us, you'll probably fuck with all the perks that you get from being a Control the Narrative member, whether that's access to our invite-only Discord where we're talking basketball all the time, or opportunities to join the next episode of Control. So whenever we need a guest, I go in our Discord, I say, yo, who's free? Who wants to hop on the next episode? And I pick from there. You get 20% off merch forever, and then you also get member-exclusive merch, all by being a member. Tiers start at $2 a month. So if you fuck with us, go check out a membership, CTRLthenarrative.com, and I will see you in the Discord. All right, back to the show for good. What's one hot take? So, Joe, we are anticipating yours. We'll start with Kenny. We'll go back up to Kenny on top right. A hot take for Melo this year. You could make it Melo or Laker related, but one hot take this year.
He's underrated. Nobody's really paying attention to him, and he just kills the league. Wins 6 man of the year.
Carmelo 6 man of the year, you said?
Yeah. I say 6 man of the year, man. I guarantee LeBron and them had put that in his ear. I guarantee that, because he already said like they celebrate each other's accolades. So it's and he still climb on the top 10 list. He still can climb up. So that's another thing people not really paying attention to. Everything is Russ, LeBron, and AD. Yeah. Melo's been dropping over 15 in the preseason. I don't know if anybody, they're not really paying attention to that, which is fine. Just
42% from 3 or 43% or some shit like that.
Like keep that same energy, man. Keep that same energy.
I agree with that. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Like he's gonna kill. He's gonna hush a lot of critics.
They always talking about the big three. It's a big four, man.
Thank you.
The big four. How that big three shit, man.
To say that is James Worthy.
He said what? Big four.
Big four.
Respect.
And Robert Horry.
Robert Horry
said it too. He's like, you know what? He's like, man, everybody not saying nothing about Carmelo. He's like, that's actually the big four. He was like, especially playoff time. That's
I got that video.
Big four right 100%.
There. Respect. 100%. One question for you, Kenny, is I think there's going to be a decent amount of games that Melo ends up starting this year. Yeah. Just because of LeBron resting or, AD resting or like whatever the case is. I just wonder if that might like disqualify him from being in that. Because like Jordan Clarkson, I know he started a decent
exactly. Yeah. I think it's like something like you got to play not start a certain amount of games to not be considered a 6 man of the year. I think something like that. Yeah,
I had to look into that. I never.
Yeah, me too.
Right, I'm looking up right now. Jordan Clarkson last year started. Is this right? He started one game last year.
Is that right?
Probably because Donovan Mitchell was out, and so was Mike Conley.
But I thought he started like 20 games.
I don't know.
Am I just pulling this out of my ass? Maybe I am. All right. Anyway, scratch that, I guess. Joe, hot take. Let's hear it.
My first one is
he's got multiple.
Along the lines what Kenny was talking about with Melo, 6 man of the year. I can totally see him being a 6 man of the year candidate. I thought he might get it with Portland one of the 2 years he was there, but it didn't work that way. But you know what? I watched the show last week with Big Oz from last week's show. He brought up some key points, man. I was like, man, that's 100%. You were so right about that. And one of my hot takes is one of those same lines. If Melo can play between 22 and 26 minutes, he can average between 16 and 17 points a game. Think about that. Okay. And watching Big Hot tape last week, Melo did miss a lot of gimmies, a lot of bunnies last year, man. Last season. I mean, easy buckets. Just imagine if he made 2 or 3 of those. That's more points to add to that total. So if he can average 16 points, 4 rebounds, 2 or 3 assists, that's 6 man a year numbers right there. He can do that, man. I think so far in the preseason, he's shooting the ball pretty well. He looks in really good shape. He looks happy to be playing with the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? So I can definitely see him being a 6 man of the year running. My other hot take is I think the Lakers can win 60 plus games, man.
That's a hot take.
60 plus games.
Yeah.
Barring injuries, the team is stacked, man. I know right now the injury bug has already biting us. We got Ariza, we got Nunn, we got Monk, THT.
Yeah.
They all out right now, man.
You got Nunn.
So
Nunn wasn't Nunn hurt too?
Yeah, Kendrick Nunn. They got an ankle injury. But I just think with that squad, man, especially with that starting lineup, I'm not too big a fan of DJ starting at the 5, whatever, but it is what it is.
I mean, I kind of like that because you save Dwight at the end of games for rebounding. Because to me, he still grabs rebounds, man. He's still a threat down
and
there
then block shots,
man.
like Dwight will do, yeah. But what do you think about starting AD at the 5?
I would do Dwight start Dwight at the 5.
What about AD?
Oh, AD?
I think they should.
They were supposed to. I don't know what happened, but I think they might do that during the actual season now. But
yeah,
like I said, that rotation, man, they just got so many different rotations they could do, man. That's what makes them so dangerous, and people just don't see it.
Yeah, but think about that offensive power with at the 1 Russ, 2 Malik Monk if he was healthy, 3 LeBron, 4 Melo, then AD 5. That's scary, man.
We forgetting one person. We don't really mention him. We haven't really mentioned him. Wayne Ellington is on the team too.
Time out. Listen, I've watched almost all the games during that 0-6 start. He didn't look good to me. He did not look good to me. He missed hella shots. He didn't look good to me. I know it's early. Yeah. My take is he didn't look good at all. What do you think?
I mean, that was back. You said 06?
No, this year. They first 6 games.
I thought you said 06.
Yo, 15 years ago. I don't like that.
I was about to say that.
They first 6 games, man.
Yeah, but I mean, they all trying to figure it out though. Like I said, they just, I don't know. It's just something to me. It's just like they didn't go full force, man. It's just.
But him specifically, Wayne Ellington, he didn't look good.
Yeah.
He missed a lot of open shots. He just didn't look good. I know it's early, so I'm gonna get benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But he's out tonight, by the way. He has a left hamstring. Hamstring. So just throwing that out there, not trying to like justify his bad preseason or anything like that. But I think that probably has something to do with Bazemore. Maybe he would have started tonight. Who knows?
What did he average during the early games?
I don't know how to find the preseason stuff off the top.
Never mind.
But even Bazemore said he was like they should start me at the 2, Melo at the 3.
Did he say that?
He said that.
Even the players
this was like when he during the training camp they asked him, and he
said, yeah.
All right, I got a hot take. I don't know if this is like a really, really hot take, but my Melo hot take for this year is that the All-Star weekend next year is in Cleveland.
Okay.
I think he should, and like I'm kind of hoping he will participate and win the 3-point shootout.
Oh, that'd be freaking fire too, man. That would be fucking awesome.
I don't know why he's never been in it.
Me either.
Everybody knows this now. Like it was an NBA 75th year commercial. Like put Melo in the fucking 3-point shootout, and I think he's gonna have a real shot.
We should push that shit. We should push it. This point on push Melo 3-point contest. Why'd you
tell him that when you saw him, Steve? You got his book. You should have said
I just told him it's like 2 weeks, or else I would have told his ass, yo, you doing the shootout.
I'm gonna ask you about that too off air. How was that, man?
It was sick.
Ask you about that.
We could talk about it on air. I think we like touched on it real quick, but it was cool, man. He had the book signing in the Bronx, and I went up, met up with Johnny and Manny. Shout out Johnny and Manny, and went up to him. And I don't know if Johnny's gonna let me tell him the story, but Johnny went up first. It was us 3. You go in the bookstore and you go around this little line, and Johnny forgot his Melo was like signing jerseys and shit like that. The day before he was in Brooklyn, so I'm like, bro, I'm bringing my fucking jersey and going up to the Bronx. So long story short, we're in line. Johnny goes and he brought his jersey, and Melo signed the book, and he forgot to get his jersey signed. So I'm standing online and I'm like, yo, Johnny. And then like I was holding my jersey up like, yo, get your shit signed. And I guess it was only like 10, 15 feet away from where we were in line from like where Melo was at. And Melo saw and like heard like what went on. And he was like, this fucking guy is going to make sure you get your jersey signed. Like out of all people, like he's going to make sure you don't walk out without a signed jersey and shit like that. So that was cool. And I went up to him, asked what he thinks about, control and shit like that. And, mid signature, I love it. I love it.
That was
And
dope. Yeah, that was dope, man.
let's fucking
That
go.
was dope.
And he said he's gonna hit me for something. Waiting on that DM, Melo, if you're watching or listening to this. But yeah, man, it was cool just to get like recognition, of course. And we've been doing this shit for over 2 years now, so
that's one thing I've never done that you got over me. I've never met Melo.
Yeah,
I've had 3 times I was supposed to play at Terminal 23.
23.
And every time it rained, so the floor got wet.
Really? Inside? Damn.
Or they were doing they were doing construction or something. Every time I was supposed
They were always doing construction on that. They closed that. I don't know if you know that. They closed it.
Yeah. And then he was supposed, like my buddy, he was a reporter for the NBA.
Gotcha.
And a couple times he was like, I'm gonna try to see if I can get you to come to practice with me, but they never practiced at Temple, so I could never meet them. So
where do they practice when they're in Philly? Do you know?
they play at the stadium.
Oh, that makes sense.
So most of the time because sometimes they practice at Temple, sometimes they practice at
Gotcha.
the University of Penn, but it just, I don't know, it just wasn't in the car. It's like the cars never lined up, but I guess maybe one day.
Yeah, it was. It's cool, man.
I'm still trying to get him to see my Melo signature, all the shoes I did.
What do you mean?
The Jordan symbol, that M, with all the Melo shoes I have. Remember I said?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you saw it or not, but
like a while back you posted it, right?
Yeah. I might redo it again,
bro. I really want to get something like, just with COVID, it just fucked up so many things in so many different ways. And last year we had planned to do some shit, and I don't know, one day, and like for those watching or listening, we are probably going to be pulling up to Philly in January to go watch the Lakers play. So if you're interested in attending, not going to make it like an official control thing because we tried doing that one time and didn't work out. But maybe we'll do something like a after party or some shit at a bar or something.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was dope, Joe. So
it sounded like it was a dope moment, man. Just to be there, man. Talking to Melo, shaking his hand, getting a sign on the jersey, B. That was a hell of a moment, B.
And again, like I said this, I posted a video on our story. I posted this video on Twitter. But like, if I was doing this shit and was just posting highlights and little clips and this and that, like, it wouldn't be cool, and he wouldn't take notice like he took notice and he followed us and shit like that. So
exactly,
people like you guys who are members, it's people like the people watching and listening who comment on all of our shit to really make control fucking cool. Like, I don't make this shit cool single-handedly. Like, it's the community. And like when he said I love it, again, I said this before, but he's not talking about, I love the highlight videos. Like, anybody can do fucking highlight videos.
Exactly.
It's kind of the community we built, and like
that
mission statement of like, fuck what everybody else says. We all stood behind him when he was out of the fucking league for a year, and he knows that. So it was more validating for the community.
I got plenty of texts. Oh, he's washed, man. You give up on your boy. Give up.
For a year.
Right.
Nope.
Exactly.
Nope.
A year. A year.
I still got to get this signed, man.
I caught mad shit at work, man, because when he was out of the league for that year, they were talking to me every other day about Melo. Your boy done, Big Joe. He's done. He's washed up. He playing no more. Man, y'all see. Keep on. Keep that same energy.
It was rough,
I wore my Melos proudly.
100%.
It was in that moment that, like, we built this shit, and it was just like, all right, like, Melo's not somebody who's really outspoken in terms of his own like legacy and shit like that, except for that one interview did with Stephen A. So I'm like, if he's not going to talk for himself, like, let's do it. So that was pretty cool. Thanks for asking, Joe.
Respect. Yep.
Of course. All right, fellas. At the end of every episode, as you guys know, we allow our guests to control a narrative. Doesn't have to be Melo related. Doesn't have to be basketball related. Doesn't have to be sports related. Even though 96% of the time it's Melo related. So whoever has one can take the floor and control the narrative.
I kind of have one because it's kind of a serious thing right here. Like in Philly, it's been happening lately, man. It's been a lot of like just crazy stuff happening, like shootings, and I don't know if you guys seen it in New York, but there was a woman that got like raped on the train, and people were videotaping it instead of stopping it. So it's like, if like whatever you can do to like, you know, just pray for Philly that things get better for us, and just make sure you stay safe. Like, you know, be aware of your surroundings, and just, you know, just try to be better at helping people, man. Don't be so quick to pull your phone out and videotape, because that's somebody's daughter. It could be somebody's mom, somebody's grandmother. Like, it's serious, man. It's just, if you can control anything, it's just like, you know, try to be better at helping other people, man. Don't just record, like be quick to record stuff, man. It really like made me mad. It's like, what if my daughter was older and somebody's right there videotaping for 9 minutes? Like you like it's just crazy, man. And every other day it's like a child is getting shot. Like it's crazy, man.
You would think people would learn that shit after the year and a half we've been through with COVID.
And take this COVID thing serious too, man. Like it's real out here, man.
It is, man. It's no joke. That COVID is no joke. I can be the first to tell you that, man. It's no joke.
Yeah, man.
So serious.
Honey. Respect.
Absolutely.
Joe, what do you got? You got one?
It's not really a narrative I want to control. I just want to speak on a basketball-related situation. As I said when I first started pods with you, I coached high school basketball for Shawnee Mission North Bison high school basketball team. I coached the sophomores. You know, this past season, you know, my first year coaching at the high school level, we went 8-6, and we couldn't play 4 games due to COVID. And we had a pretty good season considering what happened that year. And over the summer, I found out a couple of my players didn't want to come back to play for various reasons. You know, Spencer Davis, my big guy, Keywan Blake, my point guard, they want to come back and play. So I went and had meetings with those guys, one-on-one meetings with those guys, man, over the summer, most recently over the past couple of weeks. And they was dead set on not playing, man. But, you know, I kept talking to those guys one-on-one, meeting with them, you know what I'm saying, and told them they got a bright future ahead of them, man. You know, to keep playing, come out and play basketball. You never know what can happen. You know, you can get a scholarship before rise to play in college. You know, so come out and play. So I got a text last week. Both of those guys said they gonna play.
Let's go.
And that really warmed my heart up to hear them say that, because Spencer especially can really go far. He plays football and basketball, you know. And then my last guy, he'd be a sophomore playing with me this year, Quincy Bynum. I see him as being the point guard who played with AI, like Eric Snow, potentially. He didn't want to play, right? He was kind of bummed because last year they had a bad year, whatever. He didn't want to play. So I had to call him and text him to ensure he wanted to come out and play. So his mom reached out to me and said, Coach, you know what? By you texting him and showing him that you want him to come out and play, continue to play basketball, he decided to come out and play.
Respect.
And to hear, just get that text and read it, warm my heart up, man. Because these kids, man, they want to do something with their lives. They need somebody to care for them and show them that you want to support them. So shout out to Quincy Bynum, Spencer Davis, and Keywan Blake. Shout out to Shawnee Mission North High School boys basketball team. I love you guys, man. I'm looking forward to a great season, man. Go Bison.
Go Bison. Go get them this year, Joe.
If you need some tips and stuff, Joe, for like if you have guards and stuff like that, like because my buddy, he used to coach like girls.
Okay.
And a couple of the girls, I just went to like a couple of the practices. He was like, yo, can you show them? I was just standing there watching, and I was just teaching them like small stuff. Like they had the drill in between the foul line. Everybody was trying to go through people instead of using techniques.
together. Yeah.
And even the big girls, I'm like, you bigger than everybody else. Like you don't always have to have the dribble if you can outsmart the other person. Man, one of the best feelings in the world is like teaching the younger men, like the younger generation, how to play, man.
It is.
Play the way
exactly,
I played.
Man.
It's little things like how to practice by yourself. Like you don't always need somebody there with you. Like I got a couple Ray Allen drills I can show you. Just you know, if you need something, just let me know.
I'll
man,
connect with you, and I will for sure hit you up on that, Jet. For sure.
I can definitely, and it helps with like technique, proper shooting, and you can do it by yourself. You don't need anybody with you.
Yo, I appreciate that, man. I'm definitely reaching out to you about that, man. Much respect. Thank you so much, man.
I got
Good shit, man. I love this. Good shit from both of you. I'm going to also control a narrative. I haven't really done it historically, but like the past 2 weeks, I just feel like I've wanted to. So the narrative I'm going to control this week doesn't have to do with sports, but had to put my dog down today. Just let these guys know before we recorded, and it was tough, bro. Like she was 16. Obviously, like I'm 27, so like she's been in my life for like more than half the my life, and didn't really like remember life before her and shit like that. Anyway, I say all that to say, not the like love your loved ones and things like that, but be present with them. There's a lot of times when you're with somebody and you're just on your phone and your laptop or watching TV and you're not really paying attention to them. I feel like for me that was kind of I don't want to say it was a mistake, because like I feel like I knew this, and like it really helped me now that like she's went on and shit like that I was like, yo, I really feel like when I walked her, like I would leave my phone in my room, or like when I was downstairs playing with her, like I wasn't watching TV, all these little things. So I think remaining in the now, it was an important thing, and it makes me feel like a little good about myself after all this shit. And just whenever you're with people, especially your loved ones, obviously, the cliche, like, you never know, like when it's someone's time and shit like that. And not to make anyone fucking paranoid or anything, but when you're with people, especially people that you love, be present.
Absolutely. 100%, B. Yep. Man, respect, B.
This was a very serious narrative control at that. We ended this very seriously, but
hey, listen, it's needed, man.
I didn't say it's needed, man.
You can never run away from the serious stuff, man. You gotta let that go too.
Yeah.
It's the way of the world now, man. It's so unknown. Yeah. Like it's so unknown, so unpredictable, man. You just never know.
Yeah,
100%, man. Good shit, guys. Good shit, man.
If we thought we'd be in this situation 2 years ago with COVID and all that shit, we could talk about that for a while. Kenny, Joe, as always, thank you guys for hopping on every month and recording a pod and making it a good one. It'd be one thing if we're just hop on and we're like, all right, like Melo should start, but always bringing the energy, the good convo and shit like that. So
always, man. Thanks again for having us, man. Appreciate you.
Let's go get them tonight.
Absolutely, baby. Go Lakers.
Let's go.
See you soon.
Let's go.